Okay. Well, I've got my headphones on, so I don't know if this is the only way I'll be able to hear audio or not, but guess it don't much matter because I really don't even know how many subscribers I still have. It's been a long time since I've done a live stream. Just setting my computer down a little bit. As usual, um, sitting in my front room, and this is the first time I've even tried my video camera, the camera on this. This is a new laptop and the audio, and I decided to, put my headphones on because Chris is playing a game and I don't want to disturb that. So, but I was going through and cleaning up some stuff, getting rid of some videos that I just didn't want anymore. Not any of my live streams, really, just stuff that I did a year ago that almost became extremely dangerous, not just for me, but other people. I don't remember how far back it's been since I did a live stream about Guzion, particular demon, the 12th night of hell that I summoned and had a brief encounter with. I guess it was short term, and I'm glad that it was because demons are not to be taken lightly. I tried to get rid of the anything on here, any of my live streams even, that had Guzion on it, or anything about him, me summoning him, it. But a lot has happened since my last live stream. Hopefully my daughter is going to be coming back and living with us for a time. Things aren't going so well for her in Kentucky where she's at, and she's made some mistakes and realizes that maybe it wasn't such a good idea to move there. She's not working yet, she's struggling trying to find a job and stuff, and of course in a place like Kentucky, laws are different. What they will allow you to do and not to do is different. I won't give any names, but my oldest son, he's got him a new girl, and she's British. She's in England, and they've only been together a short time, but I'm very hopeful for them, and hope that this time this girl is the one for him. I've seen him go through so many that he thought was the one and turned out not to be. I was able to celebrate Lunasaw with Winding Road Coven, even though I'm still not officially a member. I've never been initiated into the coven. And as I've said before, nothing against any of them. I love them to bits. I love them dearly, but maybe I'm just better off alone, because when it's covens, there can be a lot of politics. There can be a lot of drama that I would just as soon avoid. So being invited to a ritual occasionally is nice, That way I can see everybody, and this was the first time I'd seen any of them face to face. since the pandemic hit of COVID-19, that is still, the variants are getting more and more deadly. So anytime I feel any kind of sickness coming upon myself, I get a little panicky. But then I think, no, don't get panicky, because then that's exactly what you'll manifest. I'm sorry I'm squinting, but don't have my glasses on and I'm not trying to read anything, so I don't really feel the need for them. My nephew is moving to Arkansas on the 12th of September, I guess. He's found him a new lady, and she's got some kids, and, I hope that they make it. He asked me to do some spell work for him, and I did, to make sure that they found, the right kind of place and the right kind of area that they really wanted, that they were really comfortable with. And I did that. It manifested. It didn't take very long. I mean, I couldn't say, oh, it was 3 days or whatever. I don't know. I just know that it was fairly quick. I do the spell and then forget about it, because if you focus on it too much, it can actually disempower it. See what else has been going on. I don't even want to call her sister. Naomi has divorced the family. Yay. She, as far as she's concerned, we're dead. And we're dead to her, and we feel the same. She's been dead to us for a long time now. She's stooped even lower, and apparently it's become her mission in her pitiful, worthless POS of a life that is no life. She's charging our mother another $100 on her rent, bringing the rent tally up to over $600, which the place is not worth, because it's fallen apart around my mother's ears. And Naomi refuses to pay to have it fixed. We don't know if she got the insurance money or not, but the whole, somebody drove through the living room, and now there's press board up against the front of the house where once the front door used to be. Bathroom's still messed up. Nobody's coming forward to help. And now, not only is Naomi raising the rent, if she hasn't already, but she's basically telling Mom she's got to get out. And I don't know what kind of a time frame she gave Mom to be out, but doesn't matter. It's the act of what she's doing is just wrong. Our mother's 90 years old, and Naomi knows that she has nowhere to go, but she don't care. She just don't care. It's like Naomi is completely soulless. A shell of the good person I thought I once knew when I was a kid, and I was under her deception and lies and web of BS, that I was her best friend in the whole world, and then at the drop of a hat, she would turn on me. Mabon, which will be September 21st, when the first hits, or maybe I'll even start doing it tomorrow. I mean, I could do it here, but I doubt very seriously. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure nobody from Winding Road's ever going to see this video, so I'll have to post on Facebook or something to let them know that I am trying to do a gathering on the 21st of September for Mabon at Whitehall Park. And I call it a gathering because, yes, there will be a ritual there. I will be hosting it for the first time. It'll be my, first ritual that I'm hosting, where I do the ritual and everything. I cast the circle and all that. And I don't know why it never dawned on me until now, but then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Do it, have fun with it, see what happens, see who shows up. Hopefully a lot of them will. And the sooner I start getting it out there and getting it to their attention, hopefully the better the chance that they'll be like, oh yeah, we'll be there. I want them to bring food, some type of do like a potluck, like a covered dish, or some veggie trays or fruit trays, or a combination of the two. They could do like a cheese and meat even, because there are a lot of people that are meat eaters. But me, I don't really care for a lot of the meat cheese plates. I mean, I might eat a little bit, but if it's too spicy hot or something, I won't. It tears up my stomach. And I am absolutely disgusted and hate even sitting here looking at myself right now because of all this, how heavy I am, and still struggling with my weight and trying to lose it and not doing too well. For a while, I was listening to my, I have a subliminal CD on my MP3 player, and it's just 30 minutes, and it's for weight loss. And yes, I do still have my hair. I just have it up because it's really hot. It's too hot and dry up here, like it's always been, and therefore extremely miserable. And the window's open behind me, but there's no breeze, so a lot of good that's doing. And I know my voice sounds kind of scratchy, and I don't want to have too many long pauses, because to me that's just wasting time. And I decided to put this to subscribers only, even though it is public, because I just don't want to deal with the haters. Okay. I don't want trolls in my live streams. And the handful of people that used to be, and I only say that because I don't know if any of them still are, my followers, there was like maybe 6 if I'm lucky. And not to mention how many live streams I've done, all the way back to the very first one I did. It's a lot of them to go through, and it's probably going to be boring for a lot of people, especially strangers, because they would just be like, this is boring. I'm going to go watch something else. They don't care that I'm trying to share my experiences with others in the hopes that it will help them to, know how to deal with a situation. If they're in a situation I've been in myself, all I can do is say, hey, this is how I handled it. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there's going to be different things that are going to work for different people. But I just wish there was some way I knew if I still even had any followers. But I've given up believing that there's ever going to be, I'm never going to get 1,000 followers. So I'm never going to be able to get monetary donations and stuff like that, because I just, people want to be entertained. And I can't always provide that for them, because sometimes I'm just, like I said, just trying to share my life experiences with others and hope that they'll walk away with something positive from it, or it will inspire them to choose a different path for themselves that is a better one than maybe the one they're on. There's some things that I can't talk about because, I try not to get too personal, and it's not like I have a quiet place really that I can do my live streams where I won't be disturbed. Uh, if I go downstairs to Maria's, you're going to hear her in the background. You're going to see her moving around because it's her apartment. I can't do them in the basement anymore because, well, because of the so-called building manager that is also, in my opinion, a worthless POS, because he just collects the rent, and if you ask him to fix anything, his attitude is fix it yourself. And then they still expect me to pay, rent and everything, and I just can't. Had a really good day yesterday. Still want to paranormal investigate, but just don't know when that's going to be possible because the money is just not there to be able to do the traveling and find places that people will allow to be investigated, talking to the right people so that you can get that permission. And it's just money that I'm never going to have. Which is very disheartening for me because I guess I'm just going to always want to do it, wish I could do it, but I just don't see it happening. And I guess maybe that's why I don't do a lot of live streams much anymore, because who's going to even watch them? Who's going to watch them? Who's going to listen? Not to mention my peppy levels. I try to be upbeat and positive most times, but I have bad days too. And well, today's kind of one of them because, much to my embarrassment, shame, and disgust, we are so overrun with roaches and bed bugs that I can't even sit on my couch anymore without them constantly crawling on me. Mostly the roaches. The only time that the bed bugs, of course, crawl on me is when the little how can I say this without swearing? The little jerks want to feed on my blood. I would like to do a ritual on here again sometime, but I just don't know when that's going to be either. If I start working on it like tomorrow, maybe, and make sure all my batteries are charged, make sure my video cards or SD cards or whatever are transferred to the computer here so I can reuse them, because the longest one that I have right now, so meaning the longest amount of time I'm going to be able to do any video recording with my video camera, is about 2.5 hours. And I think I have one that's a little over an hour. I mean, I've only got a couple of them, and again, it's items that I just can't afford to be buying once a month, because now I have even more money going out because I'm trying to get a personal loan paid off, and that's costing me $66 a month, and that's $66 I could really use right now to live on. But until that loan's paid off, that $66 goes to them every month, and it does cause some depression on my part and some discouragement because we just can't get ahead. Um, let's see, on a more positive, I guess, attempt to, or note, which is probably going to be boring to anybody that hears this, if anybody does. But it's exciting for me. It's special. It has a significant meaning, and that's why I wanted to get it. But I have a Lisa Frank Visa card on its way in the mail. Just waiting for it to get here. You know, my check's already been loaded on my other Visa, where I get it, 5 days before everybody else. And it was just loaded today, as a matter of fact. So I ordered season 13 of Supernatural. I'm treating myself to a season a month until I have all 15. And once my 13th season comes, I'll probably immediately start watching it, me and Chris both. And I've got some Lisa Frank stuff coming. So any of you that are watching this or listening may be wondering, Lisa Frank, if you don't know what Lisa Frank is, it's just, it's hard to describe, but it's something somebody invented. I couldn't even tell you how far back. Bright colors, bright stickers, like this box right here, what you can see of it, it's a Lisa Frank box. And if I didn't have it loaded down with stuff on the top, I would show it to you guys so you could at least see what the top of it looks like. I don't know how well I'll be able to get this on here, but right here is a Lisa Frank sticker. So anybody that looks at that will know what I mean when I say, oh, Lisa Frank. Okay. So she's not like actually a person or anything that you know. No, I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't a real person named Lisa Frank. Maybe somebody created this whole Lisa Frank thing for their kid. I don't know. But I love Lisa Frank stuff. Me and my daughter, she kind of got me into it when she was a kid. And I fell in love with it. Bright colors make me happy. Even though a lot of people expect me to wear earth tones all the time and darker colors, I'm not going to do it because it smothers my spirit. It dims my light, my, not boastfulness, but my bubbliness. Like, look at me, I'm wearing a bright orange Halloween shirt. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like my earth tones, just not all the time. I like my neon colors. I like my bright, colors. I like my rainbow colors. Can't really see it because I don't have the right lighting, but I got purple, blue, and green in my hair right now, but it's a tint kind of thing. So it's semi-permanent, I guess, or whatever, but at $3.99 a bottle, and it's right across the street at the Impress Beauty Outlet thing, I can't help it, At the time, I didn't have the money to get a splat kit, which is usually in the neighborhood of $12 for one. So just to get the two colors that I usually put in my hair, the Purple Desire and the Blue Envy, you're looking at, by the time you figure in taxes, around 20 some odd dollars, 26, 25, I don't know. So if you catch them on sale, great. I've got both of those colors, I believe, on my Amazon list, but can't afford to get them. I am also paying for a life insurance policy for myself. And I definitely, absolutely will have to keep that paid every month because my friends that also have their insurance through the same company have told me don't miss a payment because if you miss even one payment, they'll cancel you or some craziness. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't plan on canceling it. And it's only like, $43 and 20 some odd cents or something. So, to me, it's reasonable. And, let's face it, burial expenses are several $1,000s nowadays. And with COVID-19 and how many businesses it's messing with and messing up, It's, sometimes places will charge higher prices. Sometimes places will charge lower prices if you're lucky. But it takes a lot of shopping around, a lot of time, a lot of gas, and, in the car just to drive wherever you're trying to get to. And it's just, I can't keep sinking money into the gas tank that I don't have. I still wish that I could meet some of my YouTubers that I watch, but I have no more hope now, really, of meeting them than I ever have or ever will. It would have been nice just to meet them, like, even once and be able to do some kind of an investigation with them. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it's like, okay, sign me up, let's go to the most terrifying place on the planet or anything either. Something, I don't want it too intense. I wouldn't want it too overpowering or frightening or anything like that. And unless I can, by some miracle, get together a group of people that are my friends, that are committed and passionate about it like I am, that will be able to add a little bit of their own stuff to it and help with expenses, so that we can all have like better equipment and stuff like that over time, like so many of them do. But it's just, with all the competition in the world, it's really hard to come up with good content, as they call it. I mean, I can go through the whole spiel, like that video, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon. So anytime I do a new live stream, you'll be notified immediately. But again, I say, of the handful of people that were my followers, and I hope they still are, but I don't know. I don't even know like how often they check or how often they have the time to even be online, for anything. So I've just kind of, I don't know, don't know if any of them will see this or not, but I did want to point out that, and I mean, this, some may say that, Janet, we've already seen the other YouTube videos about this. Quit beating yourself up about it. And they're right. But there was a frightening experience that happened to me recently. It was it was an image that somebody had like hand drawn or something. It was a lady that was reaching out to one of the YouTubers that I follow, that I watch, and she was being tormented by this demonic spirit that was taking pleasure in tormenting her by appearing as her dead husband, that she came home one day and found hanging from their ceiling, because he had killed himself and they had kids and everything. And then everything just started going wrong, and this poor woman started, her first experience with this entity was horrifying. She said to her it seemed like it was a dream, but now when she looks back on it, she's even more terrified, because to her it wasn't a dream. It was the only way her mind could accept what had happened, because the truth was too terrifying. But she heard, she was sleeping one night and she heard something that sounded like rocks being thrown at her window. So apparently, I'm guessing that means that she's up on a high, a second level floor or something. I don't know. Because if you were on ground level, why would you throw rocks at the window? Wouldn't it be easier just to knock or something? Equally, it's going to scare the crap out of the person that you're trying to get a hold of. So she opened the drapes, and I'm just pulling out my necklaces here. She opened the drapes, and it was her dead husband standing there with this horrible grin from ear to ear. And where his eyes used to be, they were white. His skin was gray, and he had the noose hanging limp around his neck, like some glorified freaking morbid necklace or what have you. So she went, I don't know how she got over that, or if she ended up waking up or whatever for a while, but it was terrifying. And this image, it bothered me. It bothered me on a psychological level. And I thought, this damn creature was watching me in the shower, for goodness sake. And I'm nowhere near where this happened to this poor woman. I've never met her. I don't even know her name, because the person that shared this on their YouTube video disguised her name for her protection, which is understandable and appreciated. He called her Martha. So, but so she thought, okay, that was bad enough, right? Well, yeah. I mean, I would be absolutely terrified to even go back to sleep. Well, another incident she had, she was woke in the middle of the night. She heard a ruckus, what sounded like in the kitchen. She wasn't sure what it was. She was the only one in the house. I don't know where her kids were at this point, or if they weren't there, why. I don't know. It's the person that got this cry out from her wrote a lengthy message in his comment section on one of his videos, and she said, "Please help. My dead husband's not dead. He's not gone." And so she went down to the kitchen, flipped on the light, and once again, this creature was standing before her with that same frozen grin, the same white glowing where his eyes used to be or should be, and the gray skin, the whole nine. And I think at that point she said she ran out of there and she went and stayed with a friend and said, "I will not go back to that house." And they went back with her. They offered to spend the night. She told them no. I wish she would have told them yes for her own sake, because maybe if somebody else would have been there, they could have possibly witnessed something themselves, or horribly enough, even saw the creature for themselves. So I'll call this attack number 2. She also, in her drawings, it shows this creature looking thing crawling across the floor from one room to like it was getting ready to, it wasn't in the middle of the hallway in this drawing, but it was obvious this thing had 2 hands. It had a head, and you could tell it was crawling on the floor, and it was terrifying. And this is just a sketch, so it wasn't even really making out any details or anything. It was still terrifying. It was just basically, it looked like some black scribbles, like a rough outline. Okay, this is a head. This is to try and describe what she saw going across her hallway, and it was probably this creature in his true form or something. But anyway, so at one point I think she got up and moved. She said, okay, maybe if I move, maybe it's just tied to the house. Maybe it will not follow me. Wrong. It found a way to follow her. It created a structure, according to her, that was the shape. It was it was made from sticks. It was an A shape. It was a triangle like this, went down like this, and had opening in the bottom, I think, but her picture was right in the middle of it. So she thought, oh crap. And it was some new people had moved into her old place. She suddenly felt compelled to go get it because it had her picture in it, or I don't know, but bad mistake. So she brought it home to her new residence, had it outside, woke up one morning and it was sitting on her kitchen counter with her picture still in it. And she's losing her mind by now. I could understand how terrifying she must have been if this is true. And it's a true story. It's definitely a horrific one. But anyway, long story short, this thing kept following her. She, the YouTuber, suggested to her, get a priest if you can to come over there or something, a church group or something that can maybe expel this thing and get it gone. If, again, like I said, if this is a true story and whatever. But the image was just terrifying of, the grin and the eyes and the head, and it really shook me up. So I did the only thing I could think to do. I lit some candles and I asked my spirits, my spirit friends, my spirit guides, my spirit family, a lot of which are from Creepy Hollows. I said, help me let this image go. Help me let this image go. I don't want it affecting me this way. I don't want to be terrified just seeing this doggone image, because I can't even imagine what that poor woman went through if this is a true story. But on a lighter note, I found out that there is a archangel that is an archangel of Saturn, which is my ruling planet, and his name, or its name, is Cassiel. Weird, huh? Just put a T in there somewhere and you got Castiel from Supernatural. Wow, the irony. And I love that character. I do. He's yummy. He's got that deep, throaty voice, when he's in his character, but when he's talking in his normal voice, he doesn't sound like that. I've heard him like during interviews and stuff that he's gone to, and Supernatural fans and whatever. But downside, he's a Trump supporter. Boo! Shame on you, Misha. But I've definitely had my share of supernatural experiences. I would dearly love to go back to Moonville Tunnel before it gets too much colder and do a full-blown investigation, even if it is in the middle of the day, because I really don't think I would want to be there at night, not unless I was with a very decent-sized group of people, 5 or 6 of us, or more, because the roads that you have to travel to get to this place are very treacherous. And if you don't know what you're doing, there are spots where you could literally drive off a cliff. And I don't want to die that way. But when I did go, it not provoked, it evoked an emotional response in me. I started crying, couldn't believe I was there. And I've never walked from my car to a destination so fast in my life. But as soon as I was out of that car and I saw the tunnel, I just made a beeline for it. There was a lot of people there that day, a lot of families, believe it or not, little kids playing around in the tunnel. The tunnel was big, dark. Trains used to go through it. And there used to be a village around it, the village of Moonville or whatever. There's some remnants of some buildings, but we never went that far to see them. So if we do make another trip up there during the day, I definitely want to see the ruins of what's left of the civilization that was once there. People that had houses, people that had families, jobs, all that. I guess I'm just kind of trying to figure out, where to go from here, and not to beat myself up about the fact that as passionate as I am about the paranormal, I haven't done any investigations, not to the degree that I would like. And just for my own, satisfaction that I did it, that I achieved it. Not that it's suddenly going to boost my ratings and they're going to go through the roof and people are going to love that investigation so much, being my first official one and all, that my followers will suddenly go from 6 to 1,000 overnight. I don't see that happening. Tomorrow's going to be an equally busy day. It's after midnight already, and it's Chris's birthday today. He's 57. And I would like for us to, do something special, go somewhere special. Doesn't have to be elaborate or anything or cost a bunch of money, because I'm really trying not to spend any more money than I've already spent. And that was for 2 items from Amazon, my Supernatural season 13. And it's saying that it'll be here Saturday, which weirdly enough, that's 2 days from now. So I'm like, yay. Well, 1 now, because it's officially Friday. The witching hour. today, rather later, is going to be busy. We're probably going to have to go out and acquire some, getting bit, so I'm itching my leg. Some cash items, that we need for the house, stuff that we're getting low on. Laundry needs done, so that's going to be a possible trip to the laundromat, or try to do it here at home, but then I'll have to find somewhere to get $20 worth of quarters. So I'll have to do that while we're out running. And I do have an account at a bank, so I can always go there and say, hey, could you give me $20 worth of quarters? And I'm sure they would. But my savings account there's not, I haven't been able to really put anything in it since I opened it up a couple months ago, and they were supposed to, starting August 3rd, they were supposed to start taking out $25 a month, and with my express permission to do so, it would be an auto pay, so they would take it out the 3rd of the month out of my check, and that way I'm at least building up some kind of savings, however small. Rainy day fund, you might as well call it. Try to leave it alone as long as I possibly can. I don't know how long it takes for interest to develop or anything like that. I could always ask them when I go, because I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to just possibly, that's one of the stops I'll make tomorrow, today, is go to the bank, go in there, physically talk to a sales rep, or not sales rep, a bank rep, or just go up to the window and say, hey, and just give them the coins that I have in my change purse. At least it's something. And maybe give them the a few dollars, that I have in my wallet, because I'll be able to give myself more money because, I've got my check, but I want to put something in there, and I'm going to tell them, just for now, go ahead and keep it on the books here that the payment is to be taken out on the 3rd, because I don't want you to have it say that it's going to be taken out on this day one time, and on this day another time, and on this day. So just keep it on the books that it's the payments to be taken out the 3rd, and just whenever my check gets loaded, I will physically bring the 25 in and give it to them and deposit it myself as soon as I get my check, so that I know that that is still building up, and everybody that is taking auto pays from my check, which, wipes it out within the first day or two of me even having it. But of course, places that I allow to take it out, like my IMBU, I canceled both of my VIPs on there, because that was like $10 a month, and the thing keeps glitching and messing up. And I really gave them an earful or eyeful when I left them a nice, very disgruntled message about how unhappy I was that mine keeps messing up to the degree that it does. And I said, fix it now or shut it down. If you people can't afford to maintain this site proper and get all these bugs and glitches out of it so that people can enjoy it again, that's had an account there for years, and I have 2, then just shut it down and give people their money back and be done with it, because money is hard to come by anymore. I don't buy credits for my IMVU accounts. I try not to, because what's the point if it's just going to keep glitching and messing up and I'm not going to be able to enjoy it? For those of you that may not know what IMVU is, it's literally okay, watch my finger, IMVU, okay? It's a chat room. Basically, you can buy these really cool rooms that look like virtual houses. You can buy cars. You can have pets. You can have cool outfits. You can have a Barbie doll figure. You can be Jabba the Hutt if you want. Or Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. I've got a Harry Potter one there that looks just like the Harry Potter character. The glasses, the the wand, everything. One of the outfits that he wore for one of the movies. It's weird. So I think I have Ron. And the only thing I was able to find on Hermione is basically it's supposedly their version of Hermione, but she just stands there. She don't do anything. She don't talk. She don't interact with you. She just stands there. So I sometimes will put her in when there's nobody else on and I'm just on there by myself. But part of the reason why I decided to have two accounts there is, as weird and stuff as this may sound to some people, stupid, whatever, if you can't say anything positive about it, don't say anything at all. Why have two accounts? Well, so at least with the two accounts that are both mine, I always have somebody to hang out with. I don't have a bunch of drama. I don't have people, trying to make me believe that they're my friend one minute, and then the next minute they're trying to get my personal information so they can whack my account and take it for themselves. I'm not going through that. But, it's an outlet for me, like so many people, and people from all over the world, from thousands of different countries and stuff. They're on IMVU. But the one thing that I still don't like about it, and I guess I never will, is the fact that you can be as young as 13 years old and have an account there, which is extremely dangerous because it lays young people wide open for sexual predators, pedophiles, you name it. Serial killers that befriend them and gain their trust and blah, blah, blah. And meet me here and, we'll go out and have a good time, but don't bring your parents, in which case, if the kid had any brain at all, they'd be like, why not bring my parents? I don't know you. I don't know, they're gullible enough that can be easily manipulated and tricked into going, and then you never see them again. And then suddenly you see it on the news one day that more children have been taken and the body's never been found. They were at this place at this time, and now they're just gone. It's really sad. So many disappear every year, and COVID has taken so many, and it keeps taking them. And people keep getting stupid, and they keep being unsafe and not wearing their masks and stuff when they're out moving around with other people, and when they're inside places like inside stores and different establishments where it's an absolute requirement that if you haven't been COVID-19 vaccinated, which I have not, then you can't come into their facility. Me personally, I don't want to get the shots. I will just try my very best and have faith that I will never get it, because I will take every precaution. Like, when I'm out around public people, I will have my mask on. Even if we're out at a park somewhere, I always do that to dry the sanitizer on my hands quicker. It helps it evaporate quicker so my hands aren't wet. Still doing my Sims 3, but I even have to take breaks from that because I was playing it for, I think it was like almost a week and a half solid, maybe longer. But at least I know enough. I know when to take a break. I know when to go, okay, I've done this. I've been doing this too much, and entire days are just being wasted being in this world that's not real. Because it's one of the few outlets I have, and at least when I'm there, I'm not hurting anybody. My Sims have lives, they have jobs, some of them have kids, they have pets, they have nice houses, different cities to live in, and this and that. And it's fun for me. It's a creative outlet. I can build houses there from literally the ground up. And one of the games, I have 3 Alistair shops, which are the witchy shops of the Sim world. I have Sim 3 Supernatural Expansion Pack and Sim 3 Pets. expansion pack. And sometime in the future would like to be able to get the expansion pack 70s, 80s, and 90s, because I'm a 70s, 80s, and 90s girl, where you're going to have loud outfits that you can wear and, take a trip back in time to a happier time when people were getting along and there wasn't so much killing going on, and people would just sit around and party and chill and hang out, enjoy the day, enjoy the evening, go out and do fun things, go to parks, fly kites, fishing, whatever, roller skating, boating, take a canoe out on the water, which I've never done, and being as heavy as I am, I don't know, that would be uncomfortable. I don't think I would be able to sit as long as would be required to do a nice, like, loop around, if you will, of the water. And I've never, I've never, like been in a canoe. I've never done, because you have to row it. You have to row on one side and then you have to row on the other side. And I would probably be quite the spectacle just out there trying to figure out how to turn the doggone boat. But wish it wasn't so hot and uncomfortable, because we don't have any air conditioning in the front room. We only have it in the bedroom, and all I have is this little Arctic cube here, and it only does so much, and it's so full of roach carcasses, it's sickening. I've cleaned that thing out more times than I can count, trying to keep it running and functioning properly, because the doggone things are expensive. This little cube is $40. Okay. And now they have a whole tower that's, an Arctic tower that can be like every bit this tall. But you're going to pay something for it, because, and you got to know how to maintain it. You got to know how to maintain your equipment. And right now, I think Chris doesn't even, okay, yeah, the fan is on. It didn't seem like it was moving. We've got 2 tower fans in here, and we've got a fan in the bedroom that we have on the bed all night. We have it blowing on the bed, and then we'll have the AC running so we can both sleep comfortably. I wish I could do the live stream in there, but I wouldn't be able to successfully, because my cat would be in my lap and bugging me and just disrupting things. And I don't want that. So on a more positive note as well, I'm trying to keep things balanced here. My oldest son's new girlfriend is going to try to come up in February from England to see him, or come down, or whatever it's considered, down or up from us. But she's got 3 boys, 2, 10, and 12, I believe my son said. And it's going to cost her like $600 to come and see him. And to do that, she's going to have to fill out the paperwork to get on the approved visitors list and that whole deal. And my son has already told me that, she's going to be here for like 5 days. So show her a good time. It's like, oh, we absolutely will. She won't want to go back. She'll want to take us with her or move here or whatever. So I'm looking forward to it. It's something fun to look forward to, but it's not going to be until February, and this is only August. So September, October, November, December, January, February, 6 months from now? I had a very upsetting experience recently with somebody that is, in my opinion, family to me, because they are the brother of my oldest son's ex-wife, who he has 2 kids by, one of which was adopted out, leaving only the girl. He had a girl and a boy. And For any of you that really truly know me, you know their names, so I don't need to keep saying them on here. But his name is Ryan. I will only give the first name. He's like 26 now. Last time I saw him, I don't even know if he was in his teens yet. He may have been a preteen or something. I don't remember. But he asked me to do something that was very deeply hurtful to me and inappropriate for a family member to ask of another family member, because this gets into incestuous crap that I want nothing to do with. And I don't want to say what he said or did, because I'm afraid that Chris will make fun of it, cut it down, laugh about it, like it ain't nothing to be upset about, but it is deeply upsetting to me. And it's a shame that I can't share things like this with him, because he's just going to hurt me more by dismissing it like I'm just overreacting, or I don't think I am. But I will try to keep things fair and balanced. Before he did what he did and asked what he asked of me, I was trying to get my IMVU to work. He set up an IMVU character there for himself. I was going to, thought, hey, we'll chill, hang out in one of my chat rooms, And I couldn't get my IMVU to work, so I got frustrated. I gave up. I told him, I said, sorry, but I can't get it to work, so I guess we're going to have to do this some other time. I also have a couple of avatars at another, I guess, chat room related type thing called Avakin, Avakin. My name there is something Bedore or something like that. It's a real pretty name, and the avatar's not bad. So slowly I've been trying to build up my accounts there. And one of them, of course, just like my IMVU, I primarily have my male Avi that I'm using, and then for the other account, I have my female Avi. So, as weird as it may sound, it's a comfort to me to, even though I'm just hanging out with myself, it's a comfort to me that at least I'm not going to hurt me. I'm not going to cut me down. I'm not going to proposition me. I'm not going to break my heart, So I don't feel that I'm doing anything wrong or weird at all, but some do. And whatever, I'm not going to stop doing it. It gives me at least some kind of joy a little bit, and gives me another outlet, because right now virtual outlets are really the most handy, because with COVID out flying around and scaring the crap out of everybody and taking more and more lives every day, especially the variant that's out there, or however many variants are out there now. It's social isolation. A lot of people don't want to get together because they don't want to get it. They don't want to give it to somebody else. They don't want to, even if they've already had it, doesn't necessarily mean they won't get it again. And I hope none of them do. And I don't want to go through the exhaustion of the degree of healing and how long I had to do it to get that person well quickly, so that it didn't take them away from me, because my oldest son was one of them that got it, and I was terrified. I cried. I thought, oh my gosh, please don't let this be the thing that takes my son away from me. So for 3 weeks straight, I did healing magic from, you might as well say, sun up to sundown, completely exhausting myself at the end of every day, to where I could just go in, lay down on the bed, and I'd be out within minutes, most times, or seconds even, I don't know. Usually minutes, but then there's other nights when I'll lay there for 4 hours and I can't fall asleep for nothing, in which case I'll get up and I'll take a melatonin, and that will help me fall asleep. And because it's so dry and hot up here constantly, and we're never going to be able to get another air conditioned unit, and I won't even say why because I've already explained that a million times. I'm all for losing weight, but not like this. I don't like sitting here feeling like I'm sweating buckets because it's just it's too hot, too dry, and it's very uncomfortable for me. And I wish I could get me one of those Arctic towers, and I wish I had that puppy fired up and sitting right there next to me. I'm just getting some dry skin off my toes. I've been trying to put lotion on my feet once in a while and wear a pair of socks so that the lotion can keep, try to get some moisture put back in my feet, because I seem to have a lot of dry skin in my feet, and backs of my arms here get really rough, but yet the underside is completely smooth. So I've just been putting lotion on these parts too, to try and get some more moisture back into my skin that way. Got me a nice aquamarine rune set. And this is my rune for the day. Hegel, I think it's called Haegal. Got that one recently, a few days ago, a week ago, I don't even know. Which, I don't think it was like a negative message, at least, because yesterday I got one. I got the Thorn rune, which is short version, wicked man or woman. Somebody that likes to make others suffer, somebody that likes to hurt others, and takes pleasure in hurting them and tormenting them and whatever. And I remember thinking, well, the first person as far as wicked man or woman that pops into my head would be Naomi. Because what she's doing is just wrong. And it's like the lowest of the low, that she's basically throwing our 90-year-old mother out on the street, and she just don't care. And I would love to share that with her precious little Panera group down at the Panera Bread restaurant, not blocks from here, about a 10-minute drive maybe. And she's got this little group down there that worship her because she's a narcissist. So it's all about her. As long as you keep her happy and you treat her like a god, she's fine. She'll treat you like gold to a point. But then she likes you to go out shopping with her for endless hours, knowing that you have no money to go shopping and buy stuff for yourself. And yet you have to watch her buy $400 pieces of jewelry that's real diamonds. And she doesn't even have the decency to buy you a diamond necklace that's a snowflake that you're only asking for one time, that would have for me represented the month of my birth, which is January, because that's middle of winter. So, or the onset of winter or whatever. Actually, September will probably be the final like any kind of warm days. In my opinion, I could be wrong. It's Ohio weather. Wait 5 minutes, it changes. But towards the end of September is when I feel it starts really getting chilly and fall sets in. And then before you know it, it's October and another year's gone. I don't even know that we're going to hand out Halloween candy this year because is anybody, you know, I was, I know that trick-or-treaters would show up still, but they would have to come to a house where we would have to literally be sitting out on our lawn so they would know that we were there and that we had candy. Because a big section of the front of the house is now gone and there's just press board up, like I said. So, you know, maybe by some miracle we'll get a lot of sympathizers and they'll pray for us, pray for my mom so that her and Jim can find a place and get out of there. My mom don't want to be there anymore. She don't want to be in that house. She don't want nothing to do with Naomi. None of us do. She just wants to just be done with her and not have a reason to ever see her again. None of us do. We don't want to see her again. She's just, to be honest, I'm surprised she hasn't joined a Satanist group by now. She really is that evil. And my brother, well, I still try to keep things decently peaceful between us, but it's still very difficult for me to be around him because of how much he hurts me and the horrible things he says about me behind my back. But I'm no different because I say plenty negative about him behind his back, and there's just, I'm ashamed to say, but you know, there are a lot of two-faced people in my family. My brother's that way. I'm that way. Naomi's that way. But then anymore, she just doesn't seem to have anything good to say about anybody. Except, praise me, praise me. Tell me how beautiful I look today. Yeah, if you didn't smell like you just spent the night in a sewer. She don't bathe. Nobody can stand the stink of her, you know. I mean, I don't see how any of them can. Even her little precious Panera group that I would love to walk in the middle of and go, by the way, did you know that your precious little Naomi here that you guys think so highly of has the nerve and the cruel heartlessness to throw our 90-year-old mother out on the street with nowhere to go, and she refuses to spend money to fix the house if she even got the insurance money for the house for the person that drove into the living room of it. She's dad with boobs. That's the best way I can describe her. She's like all the evil of dad and worse. I mean, some of the good that he did was, yeah, at least he left us a hefty allowance, but I blew through mine like stupid. But I was young, wasn't thinking, should have invested some, should have put some away in a savings account, should have made it stretch and go longer and farther than I did, but can't go back and undo it. All I can do is move forward, learn from it, not repeat it. But I don't have any other relatives around here that's going to pass away anytime soon, hopefully, and I doubt very seriously any inheritance will come from any of them, if any of them do. There's not a lot of love in my family, and when I say my family, I'm mostly speaking about my mom, my brother, Jim, and a few others, you know, that have come into our lives, disrupted it, used us, and then just basically walked away. Bye, see ya. Don't have any time for you anymore. I feel really bad for our daughter because her girlfriend broke her heart and broke up with her in a very harsh way. And we're no closer to getting a house. Still waiting to hear from some people about some type of frickin' voucher or whatever it is we need before we can actually actively start looking. I was just reflecting on a YouTube video I watched recently where one of the YouTubers I watch, one of my favorites, he visited the grave of little John Bonet that was brutally murdered by somebody in her family. And he found out that he was just like 10 minutes away, that the hotel him and his dad was staying in was just about 10 minutes away from her grave. So he went and took her flowers and put his hand on her grave a couple times to give her the best positive, loving energy that he could. And he started crying. And as you can, I don't know if you can tell, I'm crying right now. It was a very precious thing to see because that was a horrible tragedy. And that little girl did not deserve to die that way. And she shared my mother's birthday. I just think it's really precious and special that somebody would do that for her. That hurts as much as a lot of people do. That poor little girl was taken away from this world the way she was. And her beautiful little face will forever stay in our hearts. I hope she's at peace and heals from the tragedy that took her. Her spirit, I sometimes feel around me. And I kind of consider myself a surrogate mom of sorts to her. Because her true mother was so cruel and heartless as to allow something that horrible to happen to that little girl, to have a hand in causing her death. I know a lot of speculation. People think it was the mother, the brother, the father. Heck, it could be all three. And just the sick, messed up crap they did after they killed her, whoever did of the family. They wrapped her body, her dead body, in, I don't know, a blanket or something, I guess, and put her under the Christmas tree. Can't get much sicker than that. That's the kind of horrible people that inhabit this world, and why I don't a lot of times want to be a part of it anymore, because I'm tired of all the death, all the senseless death, all the innocent people lost every day. People coming over from foreign countries and getting treated like gods, while we're a minority in our own country anymore, because everybody wants to come here because America is so great. Well, yeah, it depends on where you live and how fat your wallet is and full of money. Those of us that are not so fortunate and not pooping $100 bills live in crappy places infested with bed bugs and roaches and paying a ridiculous amount of rent because nobody will fix anything. We can't afford to, and it's their job, and they just won't do it. But yet they'll go out and the landlord will buy up these properties and fix them up and charge a ridiculous amount in rent, and somebody will come along and pay it. We're moving to the country ourselves because we're just so done with the city and all the crap that comes with living in the city. Pausing too long again. Trying to think of anything else I wanted to say or talk about. Because unless I find out otherwise, I'm basically just live streaming to myself. And because I've done this entire live stream with my headphones on, I don't know if it's going to record my voice outside of those or not. I think Chris is going to bed. It's going on 1 o'clock in the morning, and I wish I could feel the happiness I felt yesterday before I came upstairs and some stuff went wrong and hurt and upset me all over again, and I've been struggling with since it happened, and I won't say what because it'll just cause more problems and conflicts, and I don't want to do that on his birthday. Even though part of me would like to. What? I got the headphones on so I wouldn't disturb you because you were playing your game. Felt like doing a live stream because I haven't done one on this yet. Just wish there was some way I could have a weekend to myself just to get a break, from everything, all the craziness going on in my life right now. But I don't have the money to do that either. For a brief moment, I was hoping that I finally found a place close to home that I could do that, but at $80 a night, I'd be lucky to be able to stay for one, not three. Because 3 nights and 3 days there would be over $300. $300 that I don't have anymore than I have an extra 80 to even have one night there. I just hope that today will be better and happier and memorable and fulfilling in every positive way feasible. But if any of you can tell, I've been pretty down all day yesterday, and now it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, so not really feeling much better. And I hate sitting here and seeing myself on the camera and how heavy I am. Tired of being this way, and still seem to lack the motivation to find ways to shed the pounds healthy, not too fast, not too slow, build my muscle back up so it's not all this fat. It just makes me feel disgusting. And it's messing up my feet and my ankles, and sometimes I'll just be standing, not even moving or nothing, and pain will shoot through my ankles. It's not very comfortable. Going upstairs, especially even the stairs in this building, it's hard to breathe. Especially when I go downstairs and do laundry and then carry each pile that I get dried and folded and laundered, dried and folded. And then I bring it up, put it on the bed, put Chris's stuff on the foot of the bed so he can put it away, and then I put mine away. At least I did make a decent dent in the clothes mountain in the bedroom, but there's still a lot of clothes I have yet to go through, and I just don't know when I'm going to feel up to doing part 2 of that project. And I was playing around with the idea of these mystery boxes that you can get for varying levels of pricing. One of the cheapest ones I found was like $9.88 or something like that. But I'm not sure if I want to even do that, because there's no guarantees that you'll get anything valuable. You might just get a box full of junk jewelry that's, you might as well just give to a thrift store because it's not worth squat. But some people claim, and again, there's really no way to prove this unless you actually met those people that had the money to spend $60 on a bigger box that's just literally full of you don't know what. I mean, a lot of jewelry pieces and stuff that some are precious gems, some are diamonds, some are real emeralds, some are rubies, some are, worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars that if you can bear to part with them, you can sell some to someplace. Well, come on, Kalika. Come on up if you want. Come on. My kitty cat, Kalika. Which can't seem to make up her mind. Are you going to come and see Mommy or not? Whatever. She's probably like, Mom, you going to bed yet? Mom. Probably here shortly. Still haven't gotten any closer to writing any books. Let alone get one published on the shelves and make money. Because being a writer is, to me, one of the harder choices of a career to manage. Think positive, Janet. Think happy thoughts. Believe me, I'm trying. But I have to admit, this is a lot easier sometimes to do than write things down in a journal that I may or may never read again. And this daydream I'm always having of how nice it would be to have my own place that I could live at part-time, and then the other part of the time live with Chris and the rest of my family. A vacation home, if you will, my place of zen, I tend to call it. Place that I can go when I need some time to myself and keep it as close to home as I reasonably can, but that requires more money than I have still currently. Are you going to come over here or what? Come on. Well, don't just sit there and meow at me. Are you coming over? Come on. Come on. You don't know what you want to do you? I know you're trying to tell me, Mom, time to go to bed. Well, it's time to go to bed for Mommy when Mommy says so, not you or anybody else. Now that Chris has gone to bed, and I don't have to worry hopefully so much about disturbing him because he's not playing his game anymore. I think I'm going to take these headphones off. So some of this, the majority of it, an hour and 29 minutes and some odd seconds, is me with my headphones on and Just don't know that I want to wear them the entire time. But because the only way I'm going to be able to listen to this live stream myself is if I put in headphones. So, what the heck? I'm probably the only one that'll view them. Because after a while, these headphones do tend to start hurting the ears and stuff, which you don't feel it when you're wearing them. But you definitely feel it when you take them off. You coming over? Or are you just going to sit there and keep looking at me, Because if you're not going to come over here so I can pet you, Kalika, then you can't get mad at me and say I'm ignoring you, because I'm not. You're the one that chooses to come over here or not me. I shouldn't have to come over there to you. If you really want to be petted and loved on, then you can come over here, but you won't. I may have to go down and check the mail here in a minute, because I don't know if Chris ever did today and yesterday. And I am still waiting on my Lisa Frank card, so it's going to come in the mail, meaning it'll be in the mailbox. Found my Too Cute to Spooky book. It's one of many journals that keep finding their way to me, because I'm supposed to be some writer that people fall all over themselves because they can't buy my books fast enough. Just God and Goddess, let today be a good day in every way that it can be. I was going to get some herbs to make my pagan mix that I smoke. Helps me with pain and the whole fibromyalgia, but it's getting so low that been trying not to smoke a lot of it, because once this is gone, I don't have any more right now and can't afford to buy the herbs to replenish it. Because it's, these particular herbs are hard to come by. And if you get the portions wrong, which I don't know, I think I'm doing better with, but so don't misunderstand. This is just a tobacco pipe, and this is just my pagan mix. It's skullcap, Damiana, and gold's foot. those are the three herbs. And on my sad days, like I've been feeling since sometime last night, my pagan mix helps me to kind of mellow out, and find the strength to wake up and get through another day. The proverbial one day at a time. And since only my subscribers can see this, you guys understand. You know me. And yes, they do make you cough. Because the herbs are so harsh. Could be worse. I could be smoking cigarettes. Never picked up a cigarette. Never will. I may have smoked them before, but I didn't inhale. I think I've only inhaled a cigarette maybe once or twice in my entire 52 years. And both times it was just to shock people. Oh, you don't think I'll do it, huh? Took a hit, inhaled it, took it into my lungs, blew it back out just like any smoker does. They shut up after that. Lips are chapped. I was getting some dead skin off my lips. So on a more lighter note, I try to keep things balanced. Try to keep the energies balanced. My nephew that's moving to Arkansas on the 12th, he said something about trying to get over here sometime this week or next before he leaves, because this is probably the only goodbye that we're going to get from him. And I'm going to try to arrange it to have our daughter come over too on the same day so she can say goodbye to her cousin. Because she would be very upset, I'm sure, if she missed the opportunity to come and see him and say goodbye. And then, yeah, because him and my daughter have always been decently close, good buddies, and I'm glad. I used to think I had a cousin that I was like that with, but she proved me wrong, so I stopped going around her. She tried to kill me when I was a kid, and her mom and my aunt just stood there and watched like it was fun. She was trying to choke me. She was literally was choking me, and my face was turning red and blue and whatever. And I don't know how long they enjoyed watching this little bitch choking me before one of them pulled her off of me. And I know you're not supposed to curse, so I don't know if it automatically bleeps that out or not. I hope it does. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, YouTube. I really am trying not to curse. I do have my cousin Timmy. He died many years ago. Um, Supposedly at his own hand. But that's Nothing that I really wish to prove or verify because it's kind of irrelevant now, because the point is he's gone and he's in spirit now. And he's absolutely welcome to come and hang out here with me anytime he wants. But just don't hurt me. Don't scare me. Don't hate me. Don't judge me. Don't criticize me. Don't make fun of me. You think I like being this way? I don't. I'm disgusted. I can't even stand to see myself in the mirror or on this live stream because I'm just heavy and disgusting and I hate myself. I hate the way I've let myself go, and now it's proving the hardest to get myself motivated enough to get my body healthy again. And oh, you finally decided to come up, huh? Silly cat. That's Kalika. Please don't knock anything over on that table. She just walked across my lap so she could walk across this table to go somewhere else. Whatever. And you call yourself my familiar. I tried to help Timmy's mom, my aunt. Would go over there 3 times a week and bust my butt to clean her house and do her dishes and just be there with her, be her family, give her someone to talk to and someone to enjoy the day with. And I wanted that more than anything, but at the same time, my witch stinks told me, well, bless you, Janet, for trying, but you know what she's going to do. And I was just hoping I was wrong, but she just did what Carol typically does. She's a narcissist as well. And she can create the illusion that she cares about you, and you may believe it at first, but when she does it several times, it gets less and less believable. Kalika, what are you trying to do? You want to go down there? Go down there. Make up your stupid mind, you goofy butt. Stupid cat. Go on then. If you want to go down there so bad, go. God, my cats are weird. They love under this table, and I wish they wouldn't go down there. Just cats being cats. But I still don't like it. But no, Timmy was, when I would go over to Carol's, I'd feel him there with me. I'd talk to him. I'd leave him little, offerings and stuff of some of the foods that I know he liked in life. Kalika, will you quit? Frickin' lay down or something. God. What is your problem? Jesus. Would you get out of my face? If you're going to lay down, lay down. Lay down or get down. Yes, Mommy's getting agitated with you because I'm trying to do something and you're bugging me. Stop it. If you want to come over here and lay down, then come over and lay down. Otherwise, please leave me alone. I love you, but dang. Give me a flippin' break. There was an incident. I'm pretty sure I haven't live streamed this yet, so. One incident became 2, but there was a gap between the 2. Like, I don't know how many times I went over there before she sent me away the second time. And then that's when I decided, okay, there ain't going to be a third because I'm not going back. First time, she has a person, which I don't even want to call him that. What I truly want to call him is far worse, but I'm trying to be respectful because this is a live stream. And it's not like I don't think he's ever going to see it or anybody that knows him, but I'm not taking any chances. This person has been supposedly helping my aunt for the past 7 years. He goes over a couple times a day. Um, I think he said like 3 or 4 times a day, most times. He might take the garbage out for her. He might bring her food or drinks. Pop, usually pop. She likes Red Mountain Dew, Code Red or whatever. And he'll bring her waters, and he gets her medicines for her and brings those to her, and all that's well and fine and good, but he's a bad guy. He's a bad person. He's a control freak. He believes in dominating women and treating them like crap, putting on false charm that he's some great guy that he's really not. And my aunt is just gullible enough to fall for it because she's 83, 84 years old herself right now. And the woman is so weak. She falls a lot. She bruises herself up a lot because she stumbles and falls. She's not eating right. She gets Meals on Wheels, but she only likes the hot meal. She don't like the cold meal. But anyway, so me and Chris both were going over there pretty decent amount of time. And one particular time we went over there, this person of Carol's showed up and proceeds to come out on the back porch and give me the third degree and ask me in a very pompous, ignorant, arrogant, domineering, rawr, be afraid of me tone. He told me to leave. He started asking questions he had no right asking. I should never have had to tell that person that this is my aunt. I'm her niece. I don't have to prove anything to you. But Chris claims that he heard everything the guy said, but yet he chose to say nothing. He didn't react. I don't think he did hear what he said because he was busy staring at the open garage. Because Chris was getting ready to get out the lawnmower or something, I think it was, to mow the grass. I don't remember. So I'm getting the third degree by this jerk that Carol calls friend. And I told Chris what he said, and he's like, fine, let's go. And we just grabbed our stuff and started packing up the car and said, okay, fine, we're leaving. Her friend was still in the house. He went upstairs for something. And while he was upstairs, instead of saying it in a normal, what I consider a normal voice, like I'm talking right now, Carol felt the need to whisper, this is my house. Because that is her house. She's bought and paid for that house. And I wanted so badly to say, well, then do something about it. Tell him to leave. Tell him that, yeah, that's my niece. She has nothing to prove to you, and that's her husband. Back off. As a matter of fact, why don't you just leave? Because that is not how a friend behaves in my house. That's supposed to be my friend. This is my house. She's afraid of him. I really believe she's afraid of him. We tried to get Adult Protective Services involved. They went over there. They saw some of the repairs that the house needed done, but they felt there was no reason to be alarmed because this guy was just as good as gold to her. No, he's not. He isolates her from his family. He wants her all to himself. He steals from her. He lies to her. He teases her, and then he goes home and has naughty with his girlfriend. Like he'll show his progenitive organ to her, but he won't give it to her, and she told me that herself. That was straight out of her mouth. She's like, he'll show it to me, but he won't give it to me. He gets all turned on here, and then he goes home and does the naughty with his girlfriend. And that's pretty cruel for a guy to do that to somebody. And but at the same time, on the flip side of that, I need to look at it more like it is no more or no less than what she deserves, because she has always treated her men like crap. And why they put up with her as long as they did, I will never know. Now, this may seem like I'm hating on my aunt, and partly, yes, I am. The only reason I started going over there to even try and help her was because my mother asked me to, because that's her sister. And I didn't want to go because I had a feeling she was going to pull exactly what she did. So me and Chris left that day. A couple weeks went by. We refused to go back. I said, fine, we're not going back. She made her choice. She chose him instead of family, so what's the point? And I was only getting paid $20 each time I would go over there and help her. And I would be going up and down stairs. I would be cleaning up dog poo. I would be doing endless laundry for her and folding it all nice and neat and putting it on a metal shelf that I had to spend an hour and a half to 2 hours cleaning off, just so I'd have a clean place to put her clean clothes. But she won't go down in the basement by herself. She's scared to death of it, I guess. It's a beautiful basement. The whole basement section was turned into an apartment for an ex-boyfriend of hers that in his last days, or for a period of time, he lived there in the basement with Carol and her then boyfriend at the time, who's now since passed, but Rick's gone too. He lives down that basement. His spirit is still down in that basement. And if you go over into what I call the big room, there's an actual working fireplace that is completely buried by a bunch of Carol's stuff and God knows what else. If you and I did have a small footpath back through there. It wasn't easy, but I did. Stuff stacked from ceiling to floor. Just, she's a hoarder. When you get to the end, to what I call the private section, you can clearly see that there is a bed, there's a desk, there's a TV, there's a VCR, there's videotapes, there's somebody's teeth sitting there, was probably Rick's, you know. Him and I are okay. I have to say that he was probably the best boyfriend out of all the ones that I did know that Carol has had throughout her life and mine. And she treated him badly too. It's just her way. So anyway, we left. A couple weeks passed. She started calling again. So I answered one day. I was like, I have a feeling what this is about. I already knew. Not just psychically and witch stinkly, but because I know Carol and I know her games. You can come back over. My friend said you can come back over. Well, we shouldn't need your friend's permission to do anything now, should we, Carol? You say this is your house, then act like it and stand up to him. She won't do it. But I love him. No, you don't, Carol. You lust for him. That's all. You don't love him. You lust for him. And he knows it. And he uses it against you, and he will forever. And you're stupid to keep putting up with it. But I guess this is her karma for treating men as badly as she always has, treating her own kids as badly as she did, making them turn against her. So much that her own daughter won't even come over to see her anymore. Don't blame her. Her daughter's daughter will, so her niece will come over and see her once in a great while. But in all the times that me and Chris were going over there, her niece never showed up once. Carol would constantly send her niece out to buy her new outfits because she couldn't go downstairs and do her own laundry. She's too weak. Um, and she said she has, I think, suffered a stroke before. I don't remember if it was once or twice, but it sometimes breaks her speech apart. Like she'll start to say something and then she won't be able to get it all out. She has to fragment the sentence and then you have to put together the rest of it as she says it. Um, so we went back. Everything seemed fine. Her friend, so-called friend, apologized for being so mean to us, and what I wanted to say, and you mean rude and obnoxious too? And so I accepted the apology gracefully, and then we just kind of water under the bridge, right? June 25th, pretty sure was the day. It was check day for me and my friend Maria. I asked her to go over there with me because she liked going over there too, because Carol's got a beautiful house over there. She's got a beautiful little house that just wants to be loved and lived in again, wants family there again. And I gave her that, only to have her send me away a second time because I wasn't giving her my undivided attention, and I wasn't calling her 20 million times a day, and I wasn't going over there every day. It's like my friend Maria witnessed firsthand the real Carol, the Hyde, Jekyll and Hyde, the Hyde side, the mean side. I call it flip the female dog switch, if you know what I mean. She's got one. Naomi's got one. I've got one. Don't flip my female dog switch because you'll get bit. So I walked to the car, stuffed my hurt feelings down into my gullet until I got us both safely home and wasn't behind the wheel anymore. And then I cried about it later. And then for a while there, she was calling me from another number. I blocked both of her numbers, so the only way she can call me is through another number, and I'm not sure how she does it exactly, but it goes into voice. I won't answer it because I don't recognize the number, and I get garbage calls all the time, so I won't answer it with good reason. So many times she's like filled up half or more of my voicemail slots. Janet, please start coming over again. Janet, I really miss you being here. Janet, this is my house. Nobody can tell me what to do. Yet you let that jerk tell you what to do all the effing time. Please come back over. And she's crying and I'm just like, delete, delete, delete. I'm not gonna subject myself to it anymore. I'm not gonna subject Chris to it. He's not in the greatest of health, neither am I. He's got stents in his heart. I don't need the man to be having a heart attack or freaking stroke because of something somebody in my family did to him that stressed him out so much that his body couldn't take it. Um, but again, on the positive, at least while I was there, my ancestors that were there let me know when they were there. Um, Even though I don't think Carol and Rick ever got legally married, um, I still consider him family, as if they had. And my cousin Timmy would talk to me. Like I said, I would leave him little offerings of favorite stuff that he liked in life that I remembered about him. I even left him some of my pagan mix and said, "This ain't what you think, cuz, but I hope you like it. It's my own blend. I make it myself. And, it's not so bad. And you're a spirit now, so it's not like you need to physically be alive in an earthen body to smoke it. So enjoy, you know." I've never gotten any complaints from him. So I put up an ancestral shrine there for all the countless ancestors that I don't even know about and never will. That the majority of which are pretty much, they're all dead, they're all gone. I tried. In conclusion, with the Carol fiasco, I tried 2 significant times. Me and Chris both did. Even Maria went over there and helped me clean. Uh, and she didn't ask for anything. She didn't ask for any payment. And because Carol was only giving me $20, Maria understood, you know, you keep that money, Janet. You need it more than I do. Because she's got a hefty bank account. I don't. I'll just say she's got several thousand in one of hers, and she's got 3. Must be nice to have that kind of money to go out and blow on a bunch of stupid stuff you're never going to use or you end up giving away, and after you just spent $200 buying it. My friend Maria is a very beautiful woman. She's my sister, more than Naomi would ever have been. And she's exactly the same age as Naomi, weirdly enough, and she has a birthday in December like Naomi. The irony, right? But she suffered a stroke many years ago when she was pregnant for one of her kids, one of her boys, the one that shares my son's name. So it messed her up. It she can talk. She can have an intelligent conversation with you. I'm not saying she's stupid or dumb or an idiot, but you have to explain things to her continuously. It's like talking to a child. It's really heartbreaking to see, and sometimes I get agitated with her and I get short-tempered, and when I feel myself getting like that, then I just don't go around her for a while until I can come back to myself and be me again and be the chipper, always talking, bubbly personality that I am. Well, even people like me have bad days. This lovely cross that I'm wearing that you can't see, it's got a tanzanite stone in it, which I love tanzanite. And some of the properties of tanzanite is that it's protective, and it's a cross. And Jim gave it to me because he's a Baptist. He doesn't like me being a witch, and he's forever like cramming his religion down my throat, trying to get me to become a Baptist because he thinks that I'm, doing the evil and doing wrong by being a witch, and I'm not. He's done far worse than I ever have, and he's a Baptist, so score 1 for the witches. But I get very short with her a lot of times. I try not to verbally show it. I try not to raise my voice. I try to put on an air of, oh no, I'm okay, when I'm really not. And I came up with an idea because she doesn't read or write. She's illiterate. So, and I don't say that, and I don't mean that in an insulting manner. It's part of the downfall of what the stroke did to her and how it messed up her brain functionality and her comprehension with a lot of stuff. Like we'll be watching a murder mystery or something, or Murder in America, or watching a story about a man who brutally slayed his family and this, that, just the horror stories of the times. Why does he do that? And it's like you just want to just scream at her and smack her and go, would you develop some intelligence again, please? When you're not trying to say that she's stupid, you're not trying to say she's dumb, but she is. Um, I hate to say it, but she is. It's it's not her fault. I try to tolerate it. I try to deal with it. I try to work around it. I try to be as positive as I can be. But I thought, okay, I came up with an idea. Because for like sometimes, she'll come up here and she'll come up here every day solid for a week, knocking on my door. What are you doing? What are you up to? And some of those times I just would rather not be bothered. I just want to listen to my YouTube videos and have my headphones on and just be left alone. So I came up with the idea to take a piece of notebook paper, put a big red X in the middle of it, tape it outside the door. Say, if you ever come up here and you're getting ready to knock on my door and you see this X, don't knock. I'm having a bad day. I don't want to take it out on you or anybody else. She understood that. So the first one I taped up, Chris once again took it upon himself to take it down because he thought it was ridiculous for it to be up there, not even bothering to ask me why. And I've explained it to him numerous times as well, that it would be a visual way that Maria would be able to tell that I just don't want to be bothered today. Today's not a good day for me. I don't want to socialize. I just want to be left alone. I just want to play my Sims 3 or write or read or whatever. I just want to have some time to myself the only way that I can. And it's on one of my computers in this front room. And I was very upset when I saw that he had taken it down, crumbled it up, and threw it away. Instead of reminding me or asking me, why is the red X up, he just yanked it off the door and threw it away. And therefore, Maria would come up and knock on the door, and that is exactly what I was trying to avoid. So I thought, okay, I'll put it on the wall next to the door. Maybe he'll leave it alone there. I haven't looked recently, but he's probably ripped that one down too and thrown it away. Which I wish he would stop doing and understand why I put it up there in the first place. Because that's my way of telling Maria I don't want to be bothered today. I will take it down when I'm ready to socialize again, or I'll come down and knock on your door, or I'll call you on the phone and say, hey, what are you doing? You want to go out and do something today? Or I'm coming down for a while, or whatever. Because at least down there, she's got AC in the front room. Up here, it's a bloody hothouse. And if I forget to take the X's down, that's on me. But I don't appreciate Chris yanking them down and throwing them away without at least saying, hey, why is the red X up? Well, that's my visual way of letting Maria know I don't want to be bothered. Why? And you left it up. I mean, how many days is this going to go on? I don't know, a week or two, 5 minutes. I don't know. I don't know how long an episode's going to be until it's done and over with. But that way I wouldn't be hurting her feelings. But I would be making myself heard loud and clear just because of a red X on a piece of notebook paper that I taped outside the door. So she would know, don't bother me today. So Cassiel, if you're with me, I could really use some pick me up. Could really use some positive energy as much as many of you can give me. I don't like being this way. I don't like feeling this down and sad and bringing everybody else down, or worried about bringing everybody else down. So I just won't even go out at all because I don't want to bring someone else down. I don't want to ruin their day by being around them, and I feel bad. I'm having a bad day. So I have the handful of friends I always asked for and wished for and prayed for and hoped for, and we do socialize when we're all feeling up to it. But at least we respect each other enough that we have found proper ways to communicate when one of us don't want to be bothered without hurting the other's feelings. Like, if you see this symbol outside my door, please leave me alone. Don't knock, don't come over, don't call me, just leave me alone. I will come back and socialize and talk with you again when I'm ready. And again, I'll call you, I'll knock on your door, something. Um, Dry skin on my toes again, itching me. So I hate that this is yet another boring, pointless. I don't feel like it's all I have. That this is the equivalent of trying to therapize myself. Be my own counsel. Go back, watch my videos, and gauge, okay, did I learn anything? Did I explain this well? Different things like that. I don't know. One of my rings was really glowing. I think it's this one. When Chris got me my engagement ring. Um, where do I go from here? I want this weight gone. I want to feel pretty again. I want to be healthy again. More active, more productive, more often. And continue the endless lifelong journey of maintaining the balance of the dark and the light within myself, those around me, events that happen every day that take more lives. And out of all the YouTubers I've watched and tried to be supportive of before I stopped watching them, the one out of them all that I would most like to meet. I hope I do. I hope I finally devise a spell that even the powers that be can't say I'm doing to suddenly force him to get in his car and drive down here and meet me. And I wouldn't expect him to come alone. If he wanted to bring others with him, I'd be like, bring whoever you want to help you feel safe and secure. Because, yes, I am a stranger. You could be walking into an unfriendly situation. And this is definitely not a good area that we live in. So I wouldn't want him endangered or anybody else, because I would be responsible because I'm the one that asked him to come. Or light a candle and ask him, just, I'd like to meet him. Like to do an investigation with him just once so that I could say I had, and I can maybe be happy and go to the grave knowing that, well, at least that was one paranormal investigation I got to go on with a friend who had been doing it for a long time and literally made it his career. And now he can walk around with real diamond jewelry and live in a penthouse apartment with his girlfriend that drop dead gorgeous, and they're engaged and they're young. He's only 25. I don't know how old his girlfriend is. It's irrelevant. But, yeah. I'd like to be able to go on that one adventure. So I guess I'll just keep asking, hoping, and praying for it until it happens. Whoever the person ends up being, even if it wasn't originally the one I wanted, even if it was one of them, I'd be like, cool. As long as they were cool with me and I could call them friend. I'm pretty thirsty, and I have nothing to drink, so I'm going to put the remotes back down. These cats are always knocking them around. So I can set this up here. You can see this beached whale get up off her couch to go get something to drink. Now the beached whale is sitting back down with food. Yeah, I know you guys are probably like, Janet, quit calling yourself that. Well, it's the truth. It's exactly what I feel like. A beached whale that hates herself because she's allowed herself to get so heavy and unhealthy. All the more reason for the only people to be viewing this is people that won't make fun of me. I'm going to have to let this sit out for a minute. Trying not to feed the roaches. And well, this ain't going to be much better, but at least it's healthier. My teeth, I haven't had work done on them in a long time, and some of my fillings have come out. I haven't found a new dentist that takes CareSource, which is my insurance, so that I can start getting regular checkups again. So I guess I'll just have to put up with the pain because I need to eat, and at least this is healthy. This is a plum, it's fruit. This one's got an overripe spot in it already. It's going bad. I just hope it don't make me sick. They need to get eaten. There's like 4 left. Well, talk about a natural laxative. You can't get more natural than fruit. Fresh fruit, not in a bunch of heavy syrup. Well, when it's not borderline going bad, it's just getting dark up in the top. That means it's going bad. And I try not to eat that part because I'm like, oh God, I'm eating rotten food. It'd be nicer, more of a comfort if that was just this natural color because these are a certain type of plum. I guess I'll call this one Late Nights with Janelle. Because this is just another outlet for me. But I need to talk about stuff, and the only captive audience I have is me. So when I try to write it down, what I share with on the blog, share with any of you that see this. This is the only me time I have. When everybody's gone to bed for the night, the cats are all asleep. Chris is going to bed. And if this means I'm up till 4 o'clock in the morning, I guess I'm up till 4 in the morning. And no, I'm not going to eat one after the other either. well. And we're on there. I know that may seem weird, but people put fruit in their drinks all the time. And if it happens to flavor the water a little bit with some plum flavoring, I'm okay with that. But the rest of these, for the moment, okay, how do you get these things off of here? Some kind of a strip or what? There we go. Kitty cat bag clip. It's a kitty cat head. Black cat, of course. I mean, I am a witch, after all. Let's do it like this. Just so it's got more to grip. And gives, hopefully, less of a chance for the roaches to climb in it. I need a break. I keep hoping, praying, and asking the universe for the blessings of the extra income or something, some kind of connection I make with somebody I meet that happens to have a paranormal interest like I do, and we can become friends and whatever, you know. Next Saturday, I hope goes well. Me and Maria are going to the Ohio Renaissance Festival, but we're only going opening day. And my daughter Alicia will most likely be there because she is the main character there now. So once again, she's living a dream that I always had of doing that very thing and just was never able to. And see, having a Zen cottage of sorts for myself, it would be nice to go to it when I want to do these live streams, and then I don't have to worry about disturbing anybody that's trying to do other stuff and trying to talk to me when I don't really want them to talk to me right then because I'm trying to focus on my live stream. But we move into the new house. I will definitely pick a room to go to that will be basically my office, my Janet cave, and nobody's allowed entrance unless I invite them. If I go in there and I put my symbol on the door that says, okay, Janet's going in there and meditate, leave her alone for a while, then leave me alone for a while. because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to meditate, trying to improve my visualization, which I've never been able to do because I can't get myself unstressed enough to even try to learn it. And I wouldn't have to worry about these late night things, like I said, because I would be in my own room or whatever and nobody would bother me there because they would know not to. And I mean, yeah, to be fair, I probably would have to let the cats in there just so they could fulfill their curiosity of, what do you do all day, Mom, when you go in here? But then they expect to be in there with me, and then there's going to be the, you know, Kalika and Carmela crying at my door, when I'm in there trying to do stuff, trying to meditate, trying to do ritual, trying to do spells, you know. And if I don't let them in, then that'll cause a problem. And then I would have the added problem of if I'm going to let the girls in, but not the boys, then the boys, it's going to cause conflict. I mean, I just don't want to get out of here. I want to get out of this building, out of this city. Away from this hellish nightmare. Because the area we live in is so bad and dangerous. I ask for the guardians of love and light, and joyfulness and happiness to come forth and help me to bring my energy up to a more positive format. So I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want this to ruin what I'm hoping will be a good day. I also light a communal candle for all the innocent lives lost under whatever circumstances, including COVID. I hope them to have peace. I am saddened that they were taken from their family as much as their family is. I'm sorry they were taken in such a horrible way. Watch it melt some. Catch some on fire. That's all I need. Please accept this humble offering of incense, for it is all that I have to give. Namaste. And this one I light. It's a red candle. This is a what are you passionate about spell. I'm passionate about paranormal. And maybe this will I don't know. Maybe some of my spirit family will come forth and cheer me up. Some may call this a depressive episode. I don't. I'm not clinically depressed, and even though Chris still thinks that I'm bipolar, I don't consider myself bipolar. I'm not on any medication for it. I'm very unique in how I live my life and choose what I say and make up my own language for some things. Try not to swear because even though I got this set that little kids are not to see it anyway, because God's forbid if I let a curse word or two slip out, and get the third degree from either YouTube or somebody that happens to be watching it that's at one of my followers' houses and goes, "Who's that? What's that all about?" and starts watching it and then gets all criticizing on me and stuff. I don't want that. I often thought of let a Senate if I had somewhere to safely do it, securely do it. I would like to leave a camera rolling all night. I'd like to get me some more SD cards that so I can have longer amounts of time on my live streams, or not live streams, video recording. I still have a battery missing that goes to my Canon, and I really wish I would find where I put it. Haven't found it yet, and I only had 3, and my Canon's very little. I've shown it on here before. It's pretty little. It's the same one I took to Ravenwood Castle for the first time. First time I went all those years ago, April 18th, 2018. 3 years ago, which I can't believe, but it is. Um, so I still need something to do, something I can do from home or close to home that will make me money that I can get paid under the table so that I don't have to go through a bunch of legal documentation and then basically get all the money I'm trying so hard to make yanked because, well, you're considered a psychic now, so you got to pay taxes too. And I'm only charging $20 for a reading. It's like, by the time the government gets their hands on any of that money, I wouldn't have any left, so I might as well just do them for free. See, I don't like how this is making me look like, I mean, look at that. It's disgusting. I just hate seeing myself on camera anymore because I've gotten so heavy and it's causing me health problems. So I'll just do a little conceal thing here and I'll hold Pikachu or something so you see him, not my fat, disgusting stomach. This stuffed animal belonged to my son Michael, but it's not his anymore, it's mine. He owes me because I've done an awful lot for him. I've tried to be a good mother. I've given him a guy that he calls dad. Now, if I could just find some miraculous cure that don't exist to bridging the gap between the proper communication between me and Chris so that there isn't so much fighting and upset and misunderstandings flying around that's just causing more hurt. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. And I hate for the times when I am the one that hurts somebody unintentionally and because of something harsh I say or let today be a good day in every way and help me to really curb my spending this month and keep myself reminded. Spend a little, save much. Think of happy things. Think of how much fun me and Maria are going to have when we go to Renfest next Saturday. Not this Saturday, that's going to be like tomorrow now because it's 5 after 2 in the morning here. EST, Eastern Standard Time. I guess a good way to maybe describe why I'm so sad and have been since last night is because an incident that took place that I will be very vague about, and it's equally as hurtful for me to even speak of this way. But I owe it to myself to do just that so that it doesn't end up causing another argument that me and Chris don't need or want between us. Michael and Chris had a conversation recently when I wasn't around. I was downstairs with Maria's that day. Having a great day, laughing, enjoying ourselves, just socializing, and got the Maria's apartment changed around on the front room. It's just stunning to look at now. And it's really freed up the energy in the place and made it more open, and it has a good feel about it, a better feel about it. Well, during some part of that conversation that Chris and Michael had together, which was private, Chris saw fit to mention an X-rated part that was discussed that I would rather not hear. And it very much upset me and very deeply hurt me, and I have to be vague as to why because I don't want to go into details of what it was, but all I will say is Michael knows how I feel about these types of subjects. He knows how much it hurts me. He knows how deeply it hurts me. And it just ends up putting me in a sad mood for days because it hurts me. It was X-rated. It was between him and Chris, and Michael said it only because I wasn't around, therefore I wouldn't be hurt by it. Because Michael respects the fact that I don't need to hear stuff like that from Chris when Michael told him in confidence, because if he was going to tell Chris while I was around, it would end up hurting me even worse, because it's my son doing it to me. And I can't tell Michael about it because that'll cause problems. That'll cause conflict that I don't want to be responsible for. I can't tell the other person involved about it because it would equally upset and hurt them. Can't tell my daughter about it because why drag her in the middle of my problems? She's got her own, and quite a lot of them. She's now in a place that she hates. She regrets ever moving there in the first place because she moved there for a girl that she thought was finally the one for her, and the girl abandoned her and basically told her to F off and just left her high and dry. Now she's 2 hours away from everybody that she loves and cares about because she wanted so much to be closer to this girl, because she was so sure and so hopeful, as we all were, that this girl was going to be different, that this girl was going to truly love her and not hurt her. And the girl did the opposite. She was like another Hannah all over again. What comfort do I have but talking about things on here, looking at how disgusting I look and hating it? But I can't seem to find me a fitness partner that'll stick by me and help me to lose the weight, slim down, and keep it off. Now I know our next door neighbor, Chrissy, who I've recently finally started talking to and developing a friendship um, with the baby steps method. I call it the baby steps method because, one, I don't want to overwhelm the girl. Two, I don't want to frighten her off. Because three, I will take as many of a handful of friends as I can get. Even if it's only 5 or 10 or 6 or whatever, but true friends that aren't going to do me wrong, that truly love me and are there for me and have my back, and I'm proud to call family, because they're like family to me. They are family to me. I have kind of a little side funny note that we all had quite the laugh about, but my daughter wasn't here, so she couldn't join in on the fun, but we'll share it with her next time we talk to her, if I remember to. um, Maria is moving with us when we move, my surrogate sister. That's more of a sister to me than Naomi would have ever been, as I've already said. And believe me, that's saying something. She's moving with us. She has 3 cats. We have 4. That makes 7. But since Alicia's going to be moving in with us for a time now, that brings the tally up to 9, because she has 2 cats herself. So we're literally going to have 9 cats in one house, and it's going to be a challenge like I can't even begin to describe. I hope we make it. I hope we can work out a system that, if some of the cats don't get along, find a way to separate them from the others, or I don't know what. But if there's enough rooms in the house, then maybe some of them can go to one of their various little hidey spots, and then we'll just try our best to keep the others away from them that they're fighting with in the first place. Because then the cat will be cornered, and could be seriously hurt before we could get down there and break it up wherever in the house it's going on. So my son hopefully has found him a good love, a good woman. My nephew, the same. Uh, Now I guess I will focus on my daughter and helping her through this HE double toothpicks nightmare that she goes through every day, and try and get her back with us as quickly as possible. And that means getting the house. I was going to say that entails getting the house, same thing. Entails means, but anyway, tomorrow wouldn't be soon enough. And I need Chris to understand that when I do one of these live streams, don't come out and tell me what time it is because you think I should come to bed. I'll come to bed when I'm ready. And if this is the only me time I can have right now, then I'm taking it. And 9 times out of 10, it ends up being all that I have to myself. Because I have no money to get in the car and take off somewhere and have a Janet day. I haven't done that in a while. Well, this is just another version of that. So if I don't come to bed until 4 o'clock in the morning, then I don't come to bed till 4 o'clock in the morning. Just leave me alone. Because if you keep coming and basically making me feel like I'm in the wrong because I'm still up, then it's just going to cause more problems, more conflict, more arguing. I don't want that. Especially not on his birthday. So please just leave me alone. And I'm saying that to him, not you guys. The Renaissance Festival. Let me get back to that. Next Saturday, September the 4th, is opening day. And Maria has already settled it with her job that she has that day off. So it's looking like her and I are going. Chris probably won't go because he says we don't have the money, and he's right. But she's already taken the day off. We're going to go. She's just going to have to be okay with being the one to keep the gas tank full, pay for our food, any souvenirs that we get while we're there, if we get any, and get us in the gate. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. But now that Chris has his new credit card, maybe he'll change his mind and decide to go, because then he'll feel like, okay, now I got a little bit of money to play with, but I'll just have to keep the expenses low, because the fewer you spend, the higher your rate stays. Your credit rating stays high when you use it very little. I still haven't tried to get my Capital One credit card, secured credit card, to where the first amount they give you is $200, and when you keep your payments up, minimum payments up, every month, then it'll go to $500, and then if you keep keeping the payments up, it'll go to $1,000 or whatever. He's got 3 credit cards now, and I don't have any. So we'll see what this Lisa Frank card's all about when it gets here, and I hope it is one that I can use, because if I can't use it, I'm going to be very upset. But right now, I can't afford another payment. The $66 that I'm paying for the loan and the 44 something I'm paying for the life insurance. If you add just those two amounts alone, that's well over $100 right there that I once had to myself to live on until I got the loan, and now I got to pay it back, and I got the life insurance policy, and I've got to keep my payments up or they'll cut me off. And then my family won't be able to bury me when my time comes. I would rather be cremated, and the family members that truly want some of my ashes get a little urn for each one that wants them and put some of my ashes in there, and then they will keep it with them forever and hopefully have me buried with them when they die. Renaissance Festival, right. Thank you. The Renaissance Festival, this will be the first time Maria's been able to go. Comes every year. Always Labor Day weekend, or as close to Labor Day weekend as they can possibly get. And she's real excited. I am too, because it's nice to be able to take another friend in there, sister, that once we go, she'll want to come back, hopefully. And then next year we can try to go, more often. Um, but preferably only if I manage to stumble across that thing that helps me produce the extra income I need so that I can have money to live on. And not be broke all the time and feeling miserable and wasting my life away sitting on the couch. And so I guess it doesn't really much matter if I do have some long pauses, because no one's ever going to see this, so I don't have to worry about boring them when I'm just sitting here saying nothing. And not care that maybe I'm trying to go quiet from time to time to give any of you a chance to speak if you so choose. Or physically manifest yourself in some way on the screen, preferably little dots of light that everybody can clearly see that there's nothing around here causing it. It's no other explanation. That's a spirit. Hi, who are you? How can I help you? Um, my door is open, but don't come with a negative attitude, intention, or anything like that, because my witch ball will eat you. And I say that to any unbounds that may be in the immediate vicinity, because, like I pointed out earlier, we're in a bad neighborhood where I myself have been carjacked, pistol whipped, and mugged in the back of my own building that I currently live in right now. It was not a fun experience for me. I was lucky to survive it. I almost didn't. And I vowed that I would never get myself in that kind of situation ever again. And I haven't since. I've got to cut this candle down, which this is the hard part. And if I'm not careful, it can get messy real quick. Because it sometimes, when it gets to burning this low, whoops, don't you dare. Just a white handled knife. Just a kitchen knife. Um, because the thing about the candles is these are pillar candles, but white handled knife, for those of you that may not know what that is or what it means, this is me manifesting actual followers. Somebody that benefits from my vlogging because of some experience I've had. I share with them and it helps them to get through it. I still hope that future live streams will be more fun, I guess, watchable, have like a craft corner thing or something, but I don't have a cameraman, I don't have the equipment, and my highest SD card on the little video camera that I do have is only 2.5, barely 2.5 hours. It's like 2 hours and 26 minutes or some weird thing like that. Not quite 2:30, but close enough to it. 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's not very long. That goes really quick. Was going to do the Dark Night of the Soul this past summer solstice. Never did. Because they say you should only do it once, and I've done it at least twice. 2 different years. Curiosity mostly. See if anything different happened the second time around, and think about what am I trying to prove by doing it this many times? What am I looking for? What answers do I seek that are already within me? And I just got to find a way to bring them out. I got to find them. Lunasaw was fun. I know I've said that already, but kind of go over some of the highlights of the most noteworthy things that have happened to me the most recently. I guess I've been invited to Samhain at one of the people that was at the Lunasaw ritual invited me, and that was the first day I'd met the lady. So I'm like, okay, sounds to me like, because I said something about Samhain or something, and she said, oh, we're having it at my house. I said, I know. I said, I heard you. I loved the dress this lady was wearing that day. It was very witchy, and it was a thin strap. It was pretty. It was pretty cool. It was like black and white or whatever. It had stars on it and witchy symbols. It was really nice. And she's the one that she stood right next to me during the whole ritual too, which killed my back. I need to talk to Brian about that and say, Brian, I don't know if others feel this way, but me personally, any future rites that I partake in, I can't stand for the amounts of time I'm required, so that whoever is presenting, whoever's hosting the event is doing their version of a circle casting, their version of calling the gods, putting up the statuary and lighting the incense, calling them in, all that. Um, would it be okay if I sat down during the ritual? Like, whatever spot is my spot, I will just sit down in my own chair that I carry in my trunk, so I won't have to put anybody out by making them run around trying to find me a chair, because it hurts my back too much, and I don't want to suddenly be denied going to any rituals that I'm invited to, because I don't expect, or rather, I don't know how many that's going to be at this time. I only know as I'm invited to each one. Just dumping the wax out. So, um, this is me recycling. I prefer to use things like this when I have candles like this, because most of the time they burn a certain way, and it's tedious. So I try to keep the wax cleaned out of it decent, so it doesn't overflow onto a table that I'm trying not to get coated with wax. Some witches may be okay with that, and they may pride themselves in how many wax patterns and stuff are on their altar because they've never taken them off, and I just think they're cool. Hey, go for it then. I'm not one of those people. Sorry, I keep bouncing around, but it's mostly because I'm just have a bit of a full plate, and I'm trying very hard not to break it, not to keep piling more on top of it until it just shatters. Renaissance Festival. Um, they do give you the option as a patron off the street, as long as you pay to get yourself in, and everybody does. You can go in a costume, or you can go in regular street clothes. My sister Maria is the tomboy type. you will not catch that woman in a dress. The dressiest you might ever see her is she might be wearing some dressy pants sometime or something, and most of the time though she's wearing jeans or something. We're going to go in regular street clothes. It'll be less stuff to carry. I will have to literally empty out one of my backpacks that I can put on my back and carry to put everything and anything in, but carry as little as possible while we're there, you know. Um, so I'm not saying Chris is disinvited, but it's up to him, you know, if he wants to, if he's going to stick to, no, I'm not going to go. Or if now that he's got his other credit card, he thinks that, okay, maybe I can. Because it's not like I'm going to expect him to spend any of it to get me anything, because I won't. Anything that I walk in that gate with is what I have to spend, whether I choose to spend it on food, souvenirs, both, or none. It's outdoors, it's open for the most part, but there's a lot of people there that have their own buildings constructed, and they're really nice. And I would love to talk to some of the staff there and see if there was any way that I could be a part of more of what goes on there. And just like catch a ride with my daughter or something to save gas. Or if Chris isn't going to need the car or anything and he don't want to go and I have to work the fair and whatever, then I got to have a way to get back home. I would rather just keep the car with me, but then if he needs it for something, then there's going to be a problem there. And if I catch a ride with Alicia, I don't know how long that will be able to go on before that'll start agitating her, because now she's got to make an extra stop instead of being able to just head straight home. She has to come and bring me home. And then drive 2 hours home herself. And I just don't want to put her through that. So it's probably pointless to ask unless I could get a job with one of the booth people there at some version of their website, like that they are online when they're not at that fair. It's a way that I can still work and make money helping them sell products, placing orders, you know, filling them and stuff. So this is not this is not a fun time for me. And I'm trying to make it one, you know, trying to balance things out. Well, I've been on here 3 hours and 13 minutes. Can't believe it. And as usual, there's nobody here but me. Nobody's on. Nobody's awake. Of the few that might catch me on here at some random time, like 2:40 in the morning. But if they did hop on, then that would mean I would have to take the laptop into my lap so I could type back to answer them. And that becomes tedious real quick, especially with me having carpal tunnel and both wrists and all that. So, but those people, the few that have watched, maybe they just figured, well, she hasn't done a live stream, and I don't know how long. You know, I don't even know how long it's been. But I would love to figure out, and I hope I do, how to go into the dashboard where you can edit, like cut sections of the video out, so there's not a bunch of long pauses in it and whatnot. Like now, when sometimes I'm at a loss for words, and on the one hand, like I said, I'd like to be able to just sit here quietly and give you guys a chance to speak, provided I would even pick it up on the laptop, because I don't know if I would or not. I don't know how good the mic is on this thing. This is her maiden voyage of. This is the first time I've live streamed on this notebook. By the way, this Chrome notebook that I am doing this live stream on is courtesy of my sister Maria, who spent over $200 on it and surprised me with it one day when she had me take her to the Costco but wouldn't say why. So I thought, okay, she just wanted to go. She's got a membership there. She's just wanting to go get some stuff. Okay, no problem. I'm not doing anything, let's go. And apparently Harold knew about it. He wasn't permitted to say anything. And I don't know if she told Chris or not, but she was afraid that the spirits would tell me. I had no clue. None. I was like, no, if it's a surprise, let it be a surprise. I don't want to ruin it. So we went. She had a sales paper in her hand. It was one of their little advertisement things they send out in the mail to let people know when this stuff's on sale. And apparently there was some of these computers were on sale. And so we went and when we got into the computer section, she said, pick one. I said, excuse me? Pick one what? What do you mean? She said, pick one. I'm like, are you serious? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God. I had to stand there for a minute and just go quiet because I was just so shocked. I mean, I've never had a friend that's done something like that for me. And I more than showed my gratitude and my absolute shock and surprise. And so I just automatically, I had to give myself a minute, like, what? Really? I can't believe this. I don't know what to say. And she's like, pick one. I'm like, okay. So I just immediately started looking for the cheapest one they had there, because I already have two other laptops. I have a 2-in-1, which is slower than molasses in January. I have my Chromebook here now, and I have my laptop that it's sitting on. So, and a tablet. Yeah, I'm well equipped when I've got my own little, bundle of electronics. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to cut that thing down some more. It's times like this when it's handy to have like an empty bottle around or something, so you can um, dump the liquid wax in it. And try not to make a mess, and because as this thing burns down lower and lower, it gets harder and harder for it to keep lit because it needs more oxygen to stay lit. Because now it's melting into a hole where the oxygen don't get down in very good. Tried to win $1,000 through the Dollar Llama thing that was going on recently with one of the radio stations that me and Chris listen to a lot. We didn't win. Neither one of us, which was very disheartening because we really need the money right now. It would be nice to have $1,000 to live on that I normally would not have, either one of us. Um, we both get SSI, we both get the same amount. You know, we get by, but sometimes it's like just barely, like we're struggling, like so many that some families are working 2 and 3 jobs trying to support themselves because price of housing has gone up and just all kinds of stuff, that's not good for all of us because we don't have a bunch of money coming out our ears. I always daydreamed about having one of these apartments over here that's just a couple blocks away from us on the opposite side of the street that we're on. It used to be called the Mayfair Apartments. Now some other realty company has taken them over. And I was thought about going over there one of these days and here soon and just see if they're the same people. And for whatever reason, they decided to change their name, the name of the business, or I don't know. New ownership took over, whatever the case. Is the do they still are the stipulations the same? You got to make over 1,000. I think you have to have over you have to make over 1,000 a week or 1,000 a month or something. I don't know. Because the rent's like well over $600 a month, and they're garden apartments. Some of them have built-in bookshelves. That's the one that I would like to have. And it has I think they called it a semi-private basement, so you would have to share your basement space with others in that same area that shares that same space. I wouldn't do it unless I was permitted to build my own storage cage downstairs that I could put under lock and key so they couldn't come and bother any of my stuff. And to keep everybody honest, if they were smart, they would do the same. Because we have a lockable storage unit here in the building we're in, but it's full already, so we can't really fit much else down there. And I'm not even going to try. On a good note, God has blessed me recently with my first magical cabinet, and it was given to me by Harold. And because I didn't have the space to put it up here, Maria, bless her heart, she took it down into her apartment and completely rearranged her entire apartment, you might as well say. The main room, the front room, and rearranged the dining room a little bit too. She took it upon herself to make a space for that so I didn't have to watch Harold throw it away when it was needed. But I knew better than to try and bring it upstairs because we don't have the room, and I'm not that stupid that I would try to carry something like that upstairs and maneuver it in these tight corners and spaces. And it's like, no, this is not working. Um, but I put all my magic stuff that I still had down there at her place. Got the top of the cabinet. It's an entertainment center to use as an altar when that time comes. And when that time comes, yeah, I might take the rabbits and the kitty cat figurines that are on the top that is over a little too much, put them down on the bottom shelf where some other stuff of hers is, because the kitty cat and the bunny figurines on top are hers. But there's this lower shelf that somebody would put a TV on if they had some of the old style TVs, and it would fit in there. Otherwise, you'd have to put it on top. And if you have a flat screen TV, then and you didn't have it mounted on your wall, then yeah, you would have to be able to have a big enough entertainment center to have it on the top. So fit perfectly where she designated it would go. And then her altar right next to it, which fits perfectly by the door because it's small. Her first altar. She's all excited about that, and I need to start working with her more, and her Halloween prize pack that she got that I was not able to get. She got a cool mug, candle holder, um, a altar decoration, a magic mirror, a card deck that was bespelled only to read for her and be connected with her energies through her birth date and everything, like Creepy Hollows does, because this is Creepy Hollows related stuff. I was able to get her and Harold both into the Creepy Hollows, and now finally my daughter and Michael. Chris thinks it's a bunch of hooey, and that's another negative that I get from him constantly that really hurts me on a deep level, because it may be hooey to him, but it matters to me. I believe, and I don't expect him to believe in anything I believe in. Believe in whatever he's going to believe in, but don't cut down and make fun of what I believe in. Support it, or if you can't say anything nice about it, don't say anything at all, because that is not how a loving partner is supposed to be. Yes, I just sprayed myself with some peppermint oil / rubbing alcohol / water. It's the only way to keep the bed bugs off. I have to sit here and damp, wet clothes a lot of times, because I have to constantly spray down the couch or myself so that I can sit down and have some peace before they start biting on me again. We paid $20 for this new couch. It's already infested with them. So some nights it's difficult to fall asleep because you're being kept awake all night because you're constantly being bit and fed on by them, which disrupts your sleep because you're constantly scratching because now you're itching everywhere. Like someone dumped itching powder on you in your sleep when you're trying to sleep. My eyes are dry and burning. Then burning incense and stuff doesn't help. But the incense is part of my aromatherapy that, I try not to burn too many and too close together, because if Chris is awake, and even if he's sitting in the dining room on the computer playing his games or whatever, if I light up too many, like one after the other, it starts getting to his breathing. And I do it compulsively sometimes. Like I keep lighting it kind of like a chain smoker. I keep lighting one after the other, and it starts burning your eyes. And no, I'm not going to flash anyone, so don't ask. I just, when I use the squirt bottle, I get the peppermint oil on my hands, and then I rub my face, and so I end up getting it around my eyes, and I don't want to get it in my eyes because then it'll sting like crazy. I mean, I've put straight peppermint oil on me before, and it was so strong it was burning my eyes. And That's me stomping my foot because another cockroach is crawling on me. Renfest, to get back to that for a minute again, trying to keep things on the positive, balanced out because there's so much negative that I've been talking about. I try to balance the two, and sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't. And I don't have night vision, so even if I wanted to turn both lights off in here, there wouldn't be enough light to have this live stream anymore. Um, I can only sit certain ways on this couch. It's somewhat comfortable. They have, I hope they still have it. I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we get there, but we'll find a way to get something or do something that's matching. We'll both walk out of there with like a similar little bag or some little bit or bauble. I would love to walk out with a set of king and queen chalices, or what some call god and goddess chalices. I've wanted those things from that booth ever since the first time I walked on those grounds and got to experience Ren Fair for myself. Me and Adam were still together. Alicia was a baby in a stroller still. Even David and Michael were quite young. I got to be in the parade more than once. Got to carry the banner of that particular booth that I was working for that year. My very first booth that I worked for was Morning Glory, is what it was called, I think, or something like that. And they've since renamed it, but it specializes in cute little costumes for little girls, and you know, so they can have their little fairy wings and their pretty little poofy dresses, and you know, they can charge a ridiculous price, and the parents will pay it because they have the money. You'll see Klingons walking around there. You'll see cosplay people out the wazoo walking around. Um, there's an impressive oil booth there that I'd love to get a bottle of Capricorn oil every time I go if I can. But I can usually only afford a little tiny vial of it. Well, this year I'm taking some home. And if Maria's willing, or if I have the money to do it, I'm taking some home in a decent sized bottle. Even if I have to take my own bottle and say, here, fill it up, you know, just fill it up. Maybe I'll have them put it in there. And this is one of my earlier Creepy Hollows bottles. It's real pretty. It had a bunch of stones on it, and but a lot of the stones have since fallen out, and I have a different one now. I have this cute little pink one that's like a heart shape, and I gave my daughter one just like it. And I apologized to her that it was pink because pink's not exactly a favorite color of hers. No, this is not the Capricorn oil. This is my own blend that I made. I call it my multi potion because I took multiple types of oil that had multiple functions and combined them all together, including some actual Chanel number 5. And I'm talking about the kind that comes in the little tiny bottle that's about that big, and you'll spend usually several $100s for it. It's the perfume oil in its most concentrated, most expensive form. Because if you get the spray-on stuff, I've never tried the spray-on Chanel number 5, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll be able to tweak it or something a little bit with my own blend of stuff, and it'll be closer to the actual Chanel, but better. And it will be a formula that will not be documented because I will never share the recipe with anybody, because I will never write down what I put in, how much I put in, of what type of oils and what their functions are. No, I'm not going to give that information to people because then they're taking my recipes. And they need to learn to make their own if they truly want to study witchcraft to its fullest, like I do. Um, then you will take pride in making your own and learning how to. And in that experimentation, sometimes you will run across blends that don't go so well together. I think I let that burn enough this time. I'm trying to save it a little bit to keep from having to go out too soon and buy any, especially since I have money right now and very easily could, but choose not to because I'm trying not to blow through my money this time because every bit and dollar and dime and nickel and penny I can hold on to is what I'm going to be walking in the gate of the Ren Fair with in my pocket. And however much that ends up being, I have to make it last the entire day, however long we are there. Because I will insist, if we can do it, I will insist on staying there the full time. Which I think they open their gates around, I'm not mistaken, like 10, 11, something like that. And then they close things down about 6 or when it starts getting dark, I guess. Because when it starts getting dark, then the terrain can get far more tedious and dangerous to some that may not know the grounds well enough to walk it safely. Um, Crowning Glory, that was it. Thank you. Crowning Glory, yes. I called it Morning Glory, but Crowning Glory was the name of the first booth I ever worked for. And it was in that little corner of the fair that was literally the last corner before the booth started on this side. And the booth isn't very big, it's got a little back area. And when you walk in the front gates, say, this is me walking in the front gates, you turn that way. So you would turn to your right and you would take that all the way down until you hit the corner. That's the Crowning Glory. That was the one that I worked for the first time. That was my first Renfest experience, and me and Adam were together at the time and very much in love. And we had Alicia, we had David, and we had Michael. Sadly, Rupert is not one that we ever got to share that with because he wasn't around at the time. And he's like 14 now, and I haven't seen him in many years. The last time I saw my son Rupert, he hadn't hit teens yet. Now he's 14. So that's another sad thing that I have to deal with every day. And another of my children that I can't be a part of their lives because they're jealous, ridiculous, childish person that got to raise him gets jealous because he knows that I'm his real mom. She may have raised him, but I'm his real mom. I gave birth to him. I carried him for 9 months. He's my son. And my hope is that when he turns 18, he'll call me and say, Mom, can I come and live with you? I'm 18 now. Corey can't tell me no. I want to come home. In which case, I'm hoping that we'll be in the house by then, and I'll be like, sure, honey. Here's the directions. Start packing your stuff and, find a way to get yourself here because we really can't afford to come and get you. But if you can't find a way here, call us and let us know, and then we will. One of us will come and get you. What we would probably do is me and Chris would go. Maria would stay at the house. If Alicia's there with us, Maria and Alicia would stay, or me and Alicia would go, or all four of us. I don't know. But anyway, somebody would have to stay there and watch the cats. 9 cats. Holy mother of Bast. Whew. That is going to be a challenge. I hope we can make it through and find out ways that work for those that don't get along so we can keep them separated so they're not killing each other. And once Alicia moves in with us, I don't want her to think for a second to move out because her cats aren't getting along with ours. or vice versa. Because we don't even know how our 4 and Maria's 3 are going to get along because none of them have ever met each other. So that's going to be an issue. Heck of a way to spend your boyfriend's birthday, huh? But I needed this, and like I said, it's one of the few outlets I have, and nobody's taking it away from me. I don't care who you are. It's part of the package, it's part of me. I'm not going to stop being me to please you any more than I would expect you to stop being yourself to please me. If we can't get along as we are, we shouldn't be together. Um, I just keep praying and asking the universe to help us find better ways to communicate with one another so we can get our feelings understood and heard and acknowledged and work on a resolution together as a couple should, so that the least amount of hurt is manifested or caused by either to the other. Chris is 57 years old today, and I just want it to be a good day for all of us. I want it to be a happy birthday for him, however we decide to spend it, or whatever special little thing that we do to celebrate his birthday that, if at all possible, doesn't involve spending any money, or if it does, it's very little. And maybe even Maria would be like, hey, I'll help, here you go. Or just, let her go with us. She doesn't have anybody but us. Her own kids won't come and see her, and they only seem to show up when they want something, or so she feels. But for them to just come over and spend the night or spend the weekend, not very plausible. But anyway, I got distracted. Sorry. The Renfest thing. There was this. There used to be this booth, and I hope it's still there, and they're still doing it, even if we have to sanitize our hands first. But I told Maria about a wax booth where friends could literally hold hands, have their hands dipped together in wax. It's liquid wax, but it's the perfect temperature. It's not like burning you or anything. It's just perfect. It's just like, imagine the perfect temperature in a hot tub, you know. Um, and it doesn't burn you. It's very gentle. It's just comfortably warm, kind of like the warm fuzzy. But the thing is you have to hold your hands in that position, whatever that position is, because some friends will do it like this, where your fingers are laced. Others may do it like this. It's like, and she really wants us to do that together. And I said, now, you've got a couple options. If they still have it, you can either get a hollow mold of our hands or one that is completely solid that you can even maybe have them put a wick in, but then you never have any intention of burning it. It's just there to look pretty and to be a happy memory that you shared as sisters when you took your sister Maria to the fair for the first time. And you guys had a good time. You had a blast. And she shopped very smart. Walk around the fair a couple times. See some things that you like. Try to dwindle that list down as you go back around again. And if you can manage to make a complete circuit of the place at least 2 to 3 times, on that last trip around the whole fair, decide, okay, I'm gonna let this go, I'm gonna let this, I'm gonna make this wait. They have a business card, I'll get it from their website later, have it mailed directly to my house. Um, so I hope that that booth is still there, and I hope that we can do that. And they say it's not as easy as some may think to hold your hands in that position, because if it involves me like leaning over or her leaning over or a certain degree, then it's going to be uncomfortable. I know it's going to be definitely uncomfortable for me, because the first thing it's going to start probably hurting is going to be my back. And that's going to be a problem. And at least if me and Maria go, then I don't have to worry about feeling like I have to act a certain way or be a certain way to please Chris and not be allowed to be myself. And what stupid thing are we going to get into an argument over this time? And because we're going to be gone for at least the day, it would be better if Chris stayed here to watch over our cats and hers. Because most likely Maria will leave her key and he can just put it on something and hang it by the door and only use it when he goes down to check on the cats or sit down there, hang out with them a little bit, enjoy the AC. But I hope they still have that wax booth and we can get that done. Because I'm definitely going to get mine done solid. I want it filled all the way. And I will have them put a wick in the top of it, but I will never burn it. So the wick only has to be like maybe an inch long and about maybe that much of it sticking out, a half an inch of it sticking out. The rest just in the wax. And then put it up somewhere that we can display it on a shelf or something. We don't have to ever worry about the cats knocking it down or otherwise destroying it. Because if you get the hollow version where like you can still have the pose of the hands, but it'll be hollow inside, that's the more fragile of the two options. I would rather go with the solid where they fill it for you. Because a hollow one is too easily broken, and we would have to probably keep it in the freezer. And I don't know how long wax keeps in the freezer before it too gets too brittle and then it just breaks. So I just feel like there would be no saving it. So to me, the better of the two options is to just have it filled so that it's solid, turn it into a candle that you're never going to burn. Um, but it'll be a happy memory that you both shared. And maybe even get silly and buy a couple of little princess hats from the Crowning Glory booth, just for fun. Just to be able to bring it home and wear it sometimes when we feel like being silly little girls that don't have a care in the world and are happy as two sisters can be, close and love each other dearly, inseparable kind of thing. Um, and the ghost hunting, like I said, I'll just keep trying until I finally succeed, I guess. And one day I will, if the earth and everybody on it is still here, because I'm still hoping that we'll all still be here come 2024, and It'll just be another prediction that doesn't come true, so the world's around a little longer. I would like to be able to have my partner do this live stream with me, but it's just not Chris's thing. It's just not his thing. He could care less. And right now he's probably in there thinking, it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. Why are you still up? Because I want to be. Well, I can't sleep because you're not in there next to me. Too bad. This is the only me time I'm going to get because I know today's going to be busy and I'm going to be exhausted by the end of it because of all the running we'll end up having to do. Decided to move the cursor down. I don't know if you can see that on the screen or not, but I look forward to that live stream that I can finally do in the quiet of my Zen house. Place just for me, or that bedroom in the house that we end up getting and moving into where nobody will come and bother me and I can do my live streams to my heart's content. And if some of my family want to be in it, then just knock on the door and say, hey, Mom, can I be in it? Sure, come on in. And I say Mom because most likely my daughter would be one of them. I don't know if she's ever done a live stream before, but I'm hoping that she will develop a passion for it like I have, even though it's just vlogging. It's not meant to be entertaining, and sometimes it's just me reaching out to a phantom audience that don't exist, looking for that friend, looking for that way that I can make more of my day and get more done, feel good about myself, start losing weight, start walking again, because when I would walk down to my mom's, they were always telling me how much weight I had lost, and I liked that. That was a wonderful feeling, and I haven't felt that in a long time because since we got a car, it tends to make you lazy and not want to walk. And as bad as this area is that we live in, I don't really feel very safe walking, even in the middle of the day, because you don't know what drug-addled freak's going to come at you out of nowhere, and any number of bad things can happen. Call me paranoid, but I've heard of other friends that have been mugged literally in broad daylight, and I felt so bad for them. I really did. But anyway, I guess I'll wrap things up for now. And it's like 20 after 3, and I do need to get some sleep. And this was an experiment, and we'll see if it recorded my voice the entire time, even though I had the headphones on, or if it only recorded the portion where I took the headphones off. Um, Trying to think of my closing thing to say without using someone else's, because then that could be considered copyright infringement, and I don't need that on my head. This is Janelle signing off to my phantom audience of 39,000. I'd be happy with 1,000 followers right now, but till next time, peace, blessed be, love y'all, and I'm out. Good night.